So in this video, I'm specifically going to talk about the paint. I was going to do it outside, but if you look at the pictures in the listing, you can see that the sun, with the bright white paint, it's hard to show any detail. The amount of light just drowns everything out. So I'm specifically inside for this, so we can talk about the paint more realistically. So this is all original paint. The car is from a dry climate. It's never been hit, so it's never had to deal with accident damage or rust. But it does have over 100,000 miles, and this is single stage paint applied in the 80s, so it's thin, and don't think it would be prudent to attempt paint correction with it, so I've not done that. And the reason I don't recommend it is because I think we should all be mindful of what paint correction is. It's the new watered down term for buffing. And when you buff paint like this, I think you're asking for trouble. The car has had touch-ups on all the forward-facing surfaces. So I'm going to show this fender here in the front of the hood, you can see. And the reason that is if you don't do that, these front surfaces end up quickly looking like this. So this is the radiator core support right under the bumper, but right above the air dam. You can see that is just, I think it's fine there to leave that, but to leave that on the front of the hood or any visible surfaces, I didn't think would be acceptable. The bumper, same thing. So the bumpers get chipped. So there's touch-ups to try to make the camera's a couple inches away from the bumper here, so I could show the chips, but when you're at a normal viewing distance. So the challenge is always to know when to decide, or how to decide when to refinish something. I've not refinished anything on this, the body of this car, because I think the finishes are serviceable, and they're the originals, so I don't want to willy-nilly redo them. The car did have some grocery store dings, so I did have some PDR done to it. Nothing really significant. In fact, I don't really remember where they were. But so the panels are, you can see there. These are the original moldings. They've never been removed. That's the only way to make sure they're not wavy, nice and straight. That pinstripe, I sometimes see debate about whether that's OEM or not. It is OEM. That's not aftermarket. And one way to know if these cars have been redone or not, either that pinstripe is missing, or if it's present, a little error that's you can commonly spot is that they stop the pinstripe right at the end of the molding. It should project past, either a half inch or 3/4 of an inch. These lower stripes, those are vinyl. That's OEM. So the forward, like I said, the forward-facing parts of the paint get chipped. So here's some good examples there. That's normal. All the GTIs have that, and you can see how thin the paint is. Again, I wouldn't. I'm holding the camera just a few inches away from the paint, so again, as soon as you back away, it looks normal. So I wouldn't refinish a car for that. This decal, I've never seen one exactly like that on another GTI. Usually it just has the English, no French. And at first I thought it might be a fake, but then I was thinking, if it was a fake, why would you make it specifically different from all the others? Plus, it's got a Volkswagen part number on it. And if you Google that part number, it will come up is a fuel decal. So I don't know what the explanation is for that. Unique quirk for this car. Oh, and speaking of quirks, these cars, they're made in 1983, 1984. And this car was made in August of 83, so it has some features of an 84 and some features of an 83, and that is common with these cars, and it's correct. So this filler strip here behind the bumper and under the grille, it's just a little metal strip that they added. That is correct for an 84. An 83 wouldn't have that, but it would have little grills behind the bumper that close these holes off. An 84 should not have them. So these are not missing, they're just not present from the factory. So don't be put off by that if you see a picture of a GTI that has those grills there. Let's go back to the back of the car. Here's, you can get an idea of the gloss. And if I get really close, I'll show. As I move the camera, you can see the paint is not glass. It's glossy, but I would call an OEM amount of, for a single stage paint, normal amount of orange peel and then marking. So again, the camera's a few inches from the paint. As soon as I back away, it looks normal. So again, I don't think it would be prudent to buff this, ever. Just keep it clean and waxed. Go really close here. See, there's some wear on the badge. Again, I'm just a few inches from the car, so as soon as you back away, it looks normal. Sorry about the focus, it's auto-focusing slowly. Not sure what to do about that. Same thing with this badge. There's a mark in the paint here. Now is not the time to lose focus. There's a mark in the paint here. Don't know what that is. There's no dent. And that's another thing. These cars have these types of flaws in them. That does not mean it was badly repainted. It means this is how it was made. I'm going to show you another example of something that I consider disgraceful, but is completely normal. There is a blotch of seam sealer on the cowl there. It's not on the flat part of the cowl, but as soon as you look in the gap, that's normal. And there's even a few runs in the paint. Oh, you can see if you look right here, this is so that's OEM texture, but with years of just normal marks from car washes and things. There's even runs on these cars in the paint. The only one that comes to mind on this car here right there. Right there. This has not been repainted. That's how it left the factory in the 80s. So don't be put off by that or surprised by that when you see it. Nice and straight, nice and flat. Those are the seams, factory seams. Factory seams. open the trunk and take a look in there also. The Cosmoline or glue there, that's normal. These are a pain to replace, but needs to be done because the rubber cracks and then you get water inside the hatch. And the factory seam there. There's commonly rust under this, just because the way it's welded on and they don't bother to paint. Well, I don't know that they could paint between the two metal parts, but that's clean. The advantage of a dry climate car, obviously. So that glue, that's normal. Factory seam. Inside the hatch lip. It's not even stained brown with rust. It really, really survived well. It's never been repainted or touched up or anything. The doors are the same way. Let's have a look. Even the plating, that's original. That usually fades over time. Pardon the camera work. I'm trying to lay down here. Let the camera focus here. There's some glue from the seal. That's the only discoloration. Even the edge of the metal. I don't know if you can see. The edge of the metal still has the original white paint on it. All right, go to the other side. Bear with me. That's not rust, that's goop, glue, Cosmoline, dirt. So again, if you look at the edge of the metal, it still has the very edge. I'm talking about the sharp edges here. They still have the original paint on this. That's never been touched up. I'm not sure why the camera's having trouble focusing. I don't know what to do about that. It's supposed to do it automatically. I think that might be too close. Hold on. And that's not rust, that's just glue from the seal. Which I just noticed. It's getting pinched funny there. That's the first time I've ever seen that. That's disappointing. Don't know that I'm going to do anything about it. It's all glued in and originally I think it got glued incorrectly and it got pinched over the years. I never noticed that before. The glue's all hard. I don't know if I can do anything about that. And that's not rust here. That's just badly applied glue. So hopefully that will be forgiven. Again, the camera's really close, so. It's funny the things you don't see until you start filming. So that's that body. If I missed something, let me know. And I can do a follow-up. Move real quick here. The hood, the cowl. All right, so I'll do the engine bay next.